Joining us now to discuss is Georgia Congressman Buddy Carter. Congressman, thank you for joining us. I'd like to ask you specifically about people in your district, some of whom undoubtedly are in the situation where, for whatever reason, entirely valid reasons, they don't want to get this jab. Let's say, for example, there's a young woman in the 1st Congressional District of Georgia who already had COVID, who recovered, and who quite rationally believes that she has immunity, or at least as much immunity as you can have to this disease. Let's also further say, Congressman, that she believes she wants to have a baby, and she's doing her research, and she's reading about some of the suspicions out there about the reproductive health of people who have taken this injection. And I'm not saying anything's conclusive, but there are reasons to be suspicious. Should she lose her job because she decides in her own personal freedom that this vaccine is not for her, Congressman?
According to dictator Joe Biden, yes, she should. I mean, how hypocritical is it that, as you just pointed out, we have millions of people coming across the border, unvaccinated, untested, and yet they're just going without any kind of penalty. Yet if you're working and you don't get vaccinated, you're going to lose your job? I mean, this is America. This is ridiculous. And the scenario that you described is real life. Yesterday, I flew from the 1st District of Georgia up to Washington, D.C. I stopped by to get breakfast early, about 5:30 in the morning at a restaurant there. And I had a worker there who had a family, a wife and a family that depended on him. He did not want to get the vaccine. He came up to me. He said, "What am I going to do? I've got to support my wife. I've got to support my family. I don't want to get the vaccine, but if I don't, I'm going to get fired." Now, that just makes all kind of sense, doesn't it? I'm telling you, this is government overreach at its best. I mean, this is Joe Biden, Jen Psaki, Walensky, who all told us, no, we're not going to mandate the vaccine, yet now they reversed themselves and they're mandating it. This is a decision that should be made between you and your physician, between you and your pharmacist, you and your family, not between you and the government. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Congressman, we had your colleague on the show last night, Congressman Chip Roy from Texas, and he's telling his constituents, don't comply with these mandates. So many Americans now, they feel trapped if they haven't gotten the vaccine for whatever reason. And as you said, that business is between them and their doctor, them and their family. It's for nobody else to know about. But what are you telling your constituents right now that say, I don't feel comfortable getting it. I don't want to, but I feel like I have no other choice if perhaps I want to keep my job?
Well, and listen, we are getting that, and I'm getting that. People are coming up to me, asking me, as a pharmacist, look, I'm a strong advocate for the vaccine. I believe it is safe and effective. I went through the clinical trials myself and have even gotten the booster shot. So I would encourage everyone, talk to your doctor, talk to your pharmacist, talk to your family members, and make that decision that's for you. But this is not a decision that the government should be mandating. We should be educating, not mandating. So what I'm advising people, talk to your doctor, talk to your pharmacist, talk to your family members, and then make a decision.
Congressman, I want to ask you about this aspect. I mentioned it briefly during my introduction about this aspect, I think, of the ruling class elites who think that it's easy to work from home and just don't appreciate that a whole lot of Americans have jobs that they either can't do at all or can't do effectively from home. Just this morning, I mentioned MSNBC, so let's stay on that theme. Stephanie Ruhle from MSNBC, here's what she had to say about working from home.
Puzzled by these people who continue to say they're forced to get vaccinated here. There's always been a choice. If you do not want to get vaccinated, you can work from home. You can homeschool your children. You can shop online.
Okay, so she is a wealthy, elite New York maven, somebody who came from Wall Street and then got into media. I follow that same path myself, by the way, so I'm not assailing that career path. But I'm also saying that I recognize that a lot of people don't have the options that I have or that Stephanie Ruhle has. Do you think part of the problem here is that the ruling class of America simply doesn't appreciate the predicament that they have put working class people in with this edict?
There's no question about it. They don't get it. They just don't get it. They don't understand. They want to control you. They want to control your life. That's what the Democrats want. Listen, we see it every day. I'm up here in Washington, D.C. I see just how they want to control your lives, and this is what they're trying to do with these mandates. No, they don't understand that some people don't have a choice but to go work. I have the honor and privilege of representing the entire coast of Georgia. Tourism is a big part of our economy in the coastal area, and tourism is very labor intensive. I mean, we have a lot of people who work in restaurants, who work in hotels, and that's not something you can do from home. That's something you got to be there, and you got to serve these people. So, no, these people, these elites, they don't get it. And I have to say, AOC being at the Met Gala, maskless, and yet she's saying, oh, you should be wearing a mask. I see these pictures of Steny Hoyer and Nancy Pelosi and these gatherings without masks, and yet they're saying, oh, you better wear your mask.
Yeah, and Congressman, think about the lockdowns we've endured, the mask mandates, now the vaccine mandates, and you have to wonder what comes next. But unfortunately, we are out of time. Congressman Carter, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.